From a lab perspective, we want to know about minerals. Minerals run the show. Minerals are involved in every aspect of human health. Minerals are responsible for how a nerve is transmitted, how a hormone is made, how a neurotransmitter is produced, how everything works in our body depends on the minerals. So I need to get a feel where your minerals are at. So that's why I love to employ a hair tissue mineral analysis as one of the most primary functional tests that I like to employ. But that's just the beginning. We also want to use other lab tests to assess the mitochondria, such as an organic acid test. We may also want to do a mold panel to see how much mold are we infiltrated with. We may also want to do a tox profile to see how many chemicals are in us. So I usually will do a tox chemical profile more to scare the patient and say, this is why you have to detox. You got all these chemicals in you that are hormone mimickers, that will destroy your health, that will cause inflammation, that will really cause the amazing amount of gut dysbiosis because of these chemicals impeding pathways, blocking this, blocking that. And so from a functional point of view, we have to employ the right lab tests. So we like to assess the gut microbiome. So we want to do the latest and the greatest in stool testing and GI map profiles. We also want to be able to assess the minerals. We also want to be able to assess the toxic metals. We also want to assess, maybe we want to do a genetic profile to see where your weak glitches are from a genetic profile. So we really want to get a feel for where your hormones are at, where your neurotransmitters are at, where your microorganisms are at, where your minerals are at. And so what we're trying to do is profile the patient. So we use the labs to help us profile the patient. We also profile the patient based on your medical history. Were you conceived, out of intoxication? Were you conceived by rape? So understanding those phenomena certainly hold a huge charge in our system. So looking at all the emotional traumas that you have, maybe there was a rape, maybe there was abuse going on. It could be physical abuse, emotional abuse. Maybe there was surgeries that you had as a child, maybe reoccurring infections you had as a child. Maybe, if you were like me, I had a cavity in every tooth by the time I was 10. And so we want to know how to profile a patient. So we profile it from a lab point of view, from a medical history point of view, and also from a metaphysical point of view. We also want to know where your constitutional weaknesses are at. And so we do that by understanding the vital force, and we may employ astrology, we may employ numerology, we may employ other more ancient, more esoteric techniques to get into the energetics of who you are. So we love the science, but we also want to employ the art. In the art, we may use many of the ancient healing modalities to help us profile you. So then we understand your weaknesses and your strengths. Then we can help design plans built on strengthening your weaknesses and kind of reinvigorating your strengths. So we're always trying to profile the patient from many different points of view, but in essence it comes down to we profile the patient through lab tests, the assortment of lab tests, through the medical history, and more the esoteric approach using astrology, so we know constitutional inherited weaknesses or strengths, and helping me to design plans to build you up.